I was asked by Daniel Taylor to just go over why I thought that this sort of area on GU might have been a reversal point. So I'm just going to quick few minute video just to sort of go through why I thought it might be the case. So obviously, as you can see, we've got a big sort of push up, bearish, bullish 4 hour time frame leg, and obviously as from this high here, it starts to trend downwards like so. So my first one of my first reasons why I marked it is obviously we've got this big imbalance push here. So I was always looking for it to react from possibly something like that, and then I just basically whittled through the time frames and picked a zone that I was fairly happy with. So that's the first one. Obviously, it's the first sort of resistance after a big impulsive push. So that's the first one. One of the other reasons is if we look left, so this zone here is directly responsible for the taking of this high. Yeah, does it with the imbalance. Obviously, this is somewhere in here is the cause of that break. Pardon me. So what I'll do is I'll drop through the time frames just to give some more reasoning as to why it might be a good and solid zone. I've left a couple of markings on, but just to make my life a bit easier. So as you can see, we've got this trend line here, equal lows, and then we get a liquidity sweep here. So that's possible manipulation from the banks, which they might want to come and mitigate this order block. Because it looks like that's what they sort of do. I thought it would come a touch lower, but it's not quite come as low as I thought. And that's the 15. So just drop to the 5 because I think I marked on the 5 minute. So I marked my zone from the wick low here, this liquidity sweep, and then I marked it to the start of the imbalance on the 5. I always mark my zones from the wick high or the wick low to the start of the imbalance. I believe there's some smaller imbalances on the lower time frame, which is what the little yellow lines will be. I'll just delete the bigger zone for now. So yeah, wick low, sorry, to the start of the imbalance on the 5 is also the start of the imbalance on the 1 here as well. So imbalance in here. These are what I thought it was going to come for, like this imbalance here or something. Or there might be some on the seconds there, but I'll not go that low. And obviously we've got equal lows just above here, so I would have been expecting that it wanted to mitigate out of this zone, somewhere in this zone. It would hopefully would have swept these equal lows into the mitigation and then continued long. Obviously it is 4 hour bullish, so obviously all this down action from the last sort of like week or two is just technically a retracement at the minute. I am still aware that it might want to come lower, and this might just be liquidity sweeps. So one of the rules for structure is that at the minute this bullish leg is not determined until it makes a new low and a high, or it might just make a high and then a new low and basically been a liquidity sweep. But as I say, overall 4 hour we are majorly bullish. Something like that is my sort of 4 hour. So there's a very good case that that could just be that and continues with no high. That's basically it really. There's yeah, there is imbalance below. Like I say, it still might come for it, but there was manipulation there. So yeah, it was a high probability sort of area. So I was happy with marking it up. I hadn't took any entries off it. It hasn't presented me with anything. There is trend lines under here of liquidity. So obviously now that this has started to break on to the upside on the 15 at least, so obviously we're cleared this high that put in this low. So we might actually get, just delete that. So if there's a continuation from that, we've got this now. So it's broke above here, over here. It might come to mitigate somewhere a little down here and then continue along. Obviously it's all maybe, and we can only trade with what we're dealt with, but that's a very real possibility that for the coming weeks